Okay, in today's session, we are going to see about biotechnology part 3. We have completed already two parts, part 1 and part 2. Part 1 regarding the definition, principles, and so and so. And in part 2, that was exclusively for the methodology of rDNA technology. All these things we have completed now. Now we come to part 3. Part 3, we can say, this is talking about the application part of biotechnology. That means in this part onwards, now here parts so many are there, parts 3 there, parts 4 there, parts 5 there, part 6. I think 6 parts will be there. Means from here onwards, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I have completed parts 3 and part 3 and 4. The part 5, the slide preparation, I will start today because yesterday I kept the framework and today I will start that. And after that, part 6 also will come in. I hope 6 parts will be there. So in part 3, we are going to start with the application part of biotechnology. You see, biotechnology, if you talk, you know that in biotechnology, we are, what you can say, integrating the biology with the technology. Our biological and technological principles come together, and then we use the same for the welfare of human beings. Now, so the biotechnology, we can say, this is an umbrella term. This is an umbrella term. Under this umbrella, you can see that a large part, a large area is covered. That means this is covering a large area. I divided that area according to your textbook. There are 4 major areas under this umbrella. One is called health and agriculture. You see, health and agriculture both are entirely different session, but still it is merged there according to your textbook. So that is why I take like that. And second area under biotechnology is that environment. Third one is that the industries. And fourth one is that the genomics. You are very much aware about health and agriculture, right? You know what is health, what is agriculture. You know what is environment. You know what about industries and what about genomics. Genomics also we have seen. Okay, genomics. So all these various areas now we can see coming under one umbrella, that is what is called biotechnology. So these are the 4 major sectors under biotechnology where the biotechnology is having an application part. I repeat, health and agriculture. Second is that environment. Third, industries. And fourth one is that genomics. Now we are going to the next slide. And the next slide, you can see the various areas which we are covering under biotechnology now. If you are going to your textbook, you can see these are the various areas you can refer. I will take it in a clockwise direction. Now you see here at 1 o'clock location, you can look at there. You see biotechnology, the first area we can say that is plant area. That is called a plant biotechnology. Under plant biotechnology, we have a lot of areas like plant cell or tissue culture, cell culture or tissue culture. So that is one area. And GM crops, genetically modified crops, marker assisted selection. You know that in plasmids we have seen about marker gene. So marker assisted selection, all these are coming under plant biotechnology only. You just see that in your textbook, this chart is given. From there, I have taken these points. I'm not going to explain all the points because it is taken from the textbook as a chart. But the main things are there. One, plant biotechnology. Under that, plant cell tissue culture. genetically modified crops, which commonly called as GM crops, and marker assisted selection. Then second area we can say industrial biotechnology. Under industrial biotechnology, we can say enzyme biotechnology, protein engineering, metabolic engineering, even metabolomics. That means study of even the minute things of the metabolic things. Okay. Then the third area of biotechnology is that is genomics. Genomics already you know. Genome, you know, genomics also you know. Because already we have seen all these areas there in chapter number 4. So under genomics, a plant biologist, your biotechnologist, they can study the whole genome sequencing, gene functions, reverse genetics, bioinformatics. Bioinformatics also we have seen over there. So all these things are coming under the genomics. Then when you come to microbial biotechnology, you are talking about microbial genomics, biofertilizer. I think these topics might have started there in your chapter number 11. Annex madam might have started it. Biofertilizers, biopesticides, IPM, that is integrated pest management. Then another area is there that is called environmental biotechnology. Under that, you can study about pollution control, the biofuel, bioremediation, and biodiversity. And last one is that, again, animal biotechnology. Under that, again, tissue culture related to animal cells, then generative medicine, immunotechnology, genetically modified animals, pharmacogenomics, and gene therapy. So like that, you can see that the biotechnology is having a wide area as an application of biotechnology, or area which where they are useful. Under plant industries, genomics, microbes, then environmental issues, and even in animal issues, animal biotechnology, all various areas, we can see that biotechnology is having an important role today. This is why in the previous slide you have seen biotechnology is a term, it's an umbrella term. We use the term umbrella term. Under that umbrella, there are wide area or a spectrum, you can notice that, a large area you can see that, see where the biotechnology is applied or is useful. So remember, I repeat, plant, animals, environment, industries, genomics, microbial biotechnology. These are the 6 major areas where biotechnology is having an important role as on today. Okay. Now, the first one we are going to see out of these various applications, there in the area of medicine. Today, you know that we are very much worried about the coronavirus. Okay. So something related to that only today here we are going to talk. Application in the field of medicine. Biotechnology is having a major role there in the field of medicine. What role they have? In very brief, you will look at there, and this is what application in. Now look at over here. Now the first application of biotechnology, especially under medicine, we can say healthcare biotechnology. So what is the meaning of healthcare biotechnology? Healthcare, no doubt, healthcare, we can say that is medicine field only. Okay. So under medical field, you can see one area is there, healthcare. Now under this area, under this healthcare, biotechnology is having some role. What role the biotechnology is having? One, it can help us to produce medicines. Okay. That is what is written here, medicinal point of view. Second point, we can say the diagnostic product. see any disease or any whatever problems are there. So to diagnose, we want certain kit or something else like that. So such kit we can develop by biotechnology. So that is called a diagnostic product. And third thing is that we can produce a vaccine to get it, what you can say, control yourself, or to what you can say, to control certain diseases which are caused by certain microbes. So three important things today biotechnology is having under Medicare, healthcare. One is we are getting certain medicines, we can get diagnostic products, and we are able to produce vaccines. Okay, so this is what under healthcare biotechnology we are going to see. And in biotechnology, now you see that in Ason today, biotechnology is having a major role in medical field because of the biotechnology, the people who are suffering from various diseases, they are getting some kind of remedy or remedial measures or some kind of preventive measures or some kind of help they are getting to get it cured, which they thought they cannot be cured. So we can see that under biotechnology, or as an outcome of biotechnology, today we can see that patients are getting a lot of benefit. One of the major outcome is that they can get unique, targeted, and personalized therapeutic and diagnostic solutions for organ transplant. Now you see, as on today, every day we are hearing that this kind of organ transplant has been done, or this organ has been brought from some other state to this area, or from Chennai to Mumbai. So this kind of information you are getting today, that means organ transplant, we can say that is very common today. Because in this area, you can see a lot of improvement we have. So biotechnology is also come, or it gives an outcome, gives an outcome today as unique and targeted, personalized therapeutic. Personalized can be diagnostic solution. Today we are getting solutions for transplant. Like that, for many diseases, you can get solutions because of biotechnology. Now you see, today if you look at, you can see organ transplant, not simply heart transplant. Many organs are getting transplanted now. When bone marrow, then kidney is there, lungs there, heart there, liver there, even limbs also. When day before yesterday also, you might have read there in the paper, the railway accident victim, one girl, she got 2 limbs from Chennai. That means one person, he faced brain death over there, and both the limbs of him removed, and now it is transferred to or transplanted to that. I think the name of the girl who is from Mumbai only, Kurla only. I think her name is Monica or something. That means this kind of facilities today we have. Yeah, that means biotechnology gives a lot of solutions to various patients today. Now, not only that, even stem cell technology. That means you see, this is the stem cells. You see, nerve cells are developed there. Then cardiac cells are developed there. Muscle cells are there. Intestinal cells are there. So if the stem cells are getting modified, and this result can see you can see there in various areas. Stem cell technology, their improvement is there. Their biotechnology is giving a solution. Then genetic counseling. Then now you see that the genetic changes, that is not so easy. Even you can notice that the test tube baby, IVF, that is not so easy. Even you can see that the couple, they are not willing to do that because they have to be counseled. So same manner over here, even for genetic modifications or so and so, we have to do counseling. And there also we are getting solutions for it. Now, forensic medicine. Now, this is the part of forensic medicines. Then, gene probes. This also we have seen that to recognize the gene, identify the desired gene. They are using gene DNA probe. Then, genetic DNA fingerprinting. This also we have seen before. Then, karyotyping. You see the arrangement of the chromosomes. Now you see the human genome is what you can say here. Karyotype you can see over here. Human genome karyotype. Now you see here, 23 pairs of chromosomes we have, and all the chromosomes are numbered and it is sequenced. So we can see that biotechnology is having a lot of solutions for a lot of problems. Okay, today this is the outcome of biotechnology. We can in almost all the areas you can see that biotechnology is helping us to find a solution. I hope that you are understanding me, you are following me. Okay, so you please read your textbook, that part, so then it will be very easy for you to understand. Okay, so Aryan has written something over there. Yeah, a lot of areas there. Okay, so this is the outcome of biotechnology. Now look at here. Now when you come to the medical area, you are going to study about human insulin. Human insulin you are going to study. Before we go to human insulin, biotechnology introduction part we have seen, the application introduction part we have seen. We will go for a poll and then we'll come back. Okay, we'll go for a poll now. I will give you a poll. Yes, attend this poll. Do it fast, 40 seconds. Somebody left now. 52, 53, 6 seconds baki. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time over. Okay, only 12 people have submitted their answer. Around rest of the people did not submit. I'm sharing the result now. Just look at the result. Now see the question over there. See the question. The question is that identify the sequence of the steps in methodology of rDNA technology. Last class we have done it. The sequence of steps in the methodology of rDNA technology. Now just look at them. There are 4 options there. One is isolation of desirable gene, multiplication, selection, and transformation. Isolation, insertion, multiplication, and transformation. Isolation, insertion, transformation, and then multiplication. Isolation, insertion, expression, selection, multiplication. Which is the correct answer? Which is the correct answer? Okay, I'm getting answer. Somebody written C, somebody written B. Okay, 3, C, like that, various options I'm getting. The correct order we can say, if you look at the steps of rDNA technology, The first one is that you have to isolate the gene. Once you isolate the gene, then you have to develop the chimeric DNA or rDNA. That process is called insertion. That is point number 2 is insertion. Once the insertion is over, then your next work is done. Insert that one into a cloning vector and get it transformed. And get it transformed. And once the transformation has been done, that means once you got a transformed DNA, a chimeric DNA or rDNA, then you have to multiply it. With the help of a cloning vector, you have to multiply it. And after multiplication also, you can notice that one term is there. That is given in the last one. That is called the expression. So 5 steps, that is a sequence. Isolation, insertion, transformation, after transformation, multiplication. And once the multiplication is over, then next process will be what I said. What will be the next process? Expression. Okay, so this is the sequence. So what is the correct answer here then? Expression is not given there in the option in all, but here the correct answer is third one. That is, this is the isolation, isolation, insertion, transformation, and multiplication. This is the correct answer. Now we come to human insulin. Examination point of view, human insulin is important because this is the one which you are going to study under medicine, application of biotechnology in medicine. Now we are going to talk about human insulin. What is human insulin? Human insulin, we can notice that, please note that this is a hormone. This is a peptide hormone. Okay, protein hormone, peptide hormone produced by the beta cells of islets of Langerhans of pancreas. ये point आपको याद रखना, 1 mark question, when MCQ type question, इसमें 1, 2, 3 questions you can expect. Okay, अलग अलग स्टाइल, आंसर एक ही होगा, मतलब MCQ होगा, 1 mark का क्वेश्चन होगा, ये कौन सा टाइप हार्मोन है, कहाँ प्रोड्यूस होता है, what is the name of the hormone produced by Langerhans. So ऐसा अलग अलग स्टाइल में you can expect the question, but remember for it. So human insulin, we can say this is a peptide hormone produced there in the pancreas, and in the pancreas also there is a special cells that is called beta cells of islets of Langerhans. There the human insulin hormone is produced. Now, who discovered this hormone? That is the second point to be remembered under it. Who discovered this hormone? In the year 1916. See, Edward Sharpe Schaefer. Okay, Edward Sharpe Schaefer, he discovered this hormone. So, come on, you write the name of the scientist who discovered this insulin in very short form in your chat box. You can easily remember one name. The first name is so easy to remember. The first name is that, yeah, yes. Okay, good. The first name you can easily remember because second and third name, that is not so common name. Okay, Edward is a common name. So remember Edward S. or Edward Sharpe Schaefer. Okay, in the year 1916, he discovered this hormone. Now, what is the importance of this hormone? Even lower classes, you might have studied about this insulin hormone. What is its importance? Okay, very good. What is its importance? Please use the chat box. It controls blood sugar. You know that many people today, they are suffering from diabetes. What is the reason for diabetes? What is the reason for diabetes? Normally people are saying that I have diabetes, or a common language में बात करें तो sugar है बोलते हैं. So what is this? That means we can say in those people, the people who are suffering from sugar or even diabetes, we can say that their insulin hormone which is produced will not be sufficient to control the sugar level there in the blood. That means the diabetes or the sugar disease is because of the deficiency of insulin hormone. So we can say that insulin hormone must be there in sufficient quantity to maintain the glucose level in the blood. When this level is going down, I mean the insulin hormone is less produced, then the sugar level cannot be maintained. So in the blood, the glucose level increases. That disease is called as diabetes mellitus. Okay. There are two types of diabetes. I think you know it. Can you tell me what are the two types of diabetes? One is diabetes mellitus. What is the other one? You asked diabetes insipidus. Insipidus, okay, doesn't matter. So diabetes insipidus. Okay, what is that? No, Krishnaraj. What is diabetes insipidus? In which topic you have studied that? What is diabetes insipidus? In which topic you are studying it? Protein? No. The topic where you are studying about diabetes insipidus. Can you tell me the reason? Diabetes insipidus reason? Okay. Now I will tell you the topic. You just tell me that whether you learned it or not. You know human excretory system? Yes. I don't think that human excretory system is there in 12th standard. That means it might have completed there in 11th standard. Am I right? Human excretory system you might have completed there in 11th standard. So there you might have not only human excretory system, even in endocrine glands, hormones, that area also you will study the same thing. Now you know in the kidney functioning there, you know one important point is there. Some hormones are related to kidney function. You know any hormone which is related to kidney function? Any hormone you know? Yes, very good. Antidiuretic hormone. What is the short form of antidiuretic? What is the short form? In capital letter we are right. Very good, very good. ADH. ADH. Antidiuretic hormone. Now you see what this hormone is doing. You have any role? Any idea? The water level. Okay. You have an idea. Now you can see that this kidney function means that is the various role the kidney is having, but one role is that maintaining the water level in the body. Okay, that means even if the excess water is gone out through the primary urine, so the excess water which is escaped from the glomerulus, that will be taken back. So through when the primary urine is passing through the nephron, so it is taken back. So there one hormone is function that is called antidiuretic hormone. What it does, it minimizes the loss of water from the body. That is why the secondary urine is become concentrated. Okay. So now you just imagine that this antidiuretic hormone, the ADH hormone, is malfunctioning. Malfunctioning in the sense like insulin, that hormone is less. What will happen if the hormone is less? The water level decrease in the sense the urine will be highly diluted. So in such case, the urine will be highly diluted. It means the urine may contain more water. So that is known as diabetes insipidus. That means if you are throwing out excess water through the urine because of the deficiency of ADH, it is called diabetes insipidus. So here, the diabetes we are talking about is diabetes mellitus. There you can see that the sugar level is increasing there in the blood. That is because of the less amount of, or because of shortage of insulin there in the body. Okay. Now this hormone production, that is what we are going to see there here. So now you see that there is a scientist. Now you see his name is written over here, Hakura. And after that, it is written the et al. What is the meaning of this et al? Hakura et al. That is what is given there in the textbook. See, the et al, the word comes, or these two terms comes, you remember. It doesn't mean that is the name of the scientist. That shows that Hakura is a scientist. Along with him, some other people were also there. But we don't know the name of those people. That means this work was done not by Hakura himself. Along with Hakura, some other scientists were there. So we say, normal way we say Hakura and others. So instead of others, we are using the technical term here, et al. So Hakura et al. In the year 1977, what they did, they synthesized the DNA sequence for human insulin. Now, if you look at human insulin, some technical terms are coming over there. Just look at the picture over, the slide over there. What is written over there? Now, you can see that the insulin, we can say, that means the gene that is producing this insulin, we can say, that consists of two polypeptide chains. That is, here you look at it here. If you look at it here, you can see that there are two types of polypeptide chain over there. One chain is called a polypeptide, A chain, chain A. The second chain is this one, the green colored one. That is called chain B. So the first one is that chain A, and second one is that the chain B. And these two chains are there in the gene, which produces this human insulin. And after that, we can notice that both these chains are linked. Now you look at over here, you can see that it is linked. And how the linking has been done? By means of disulfide bridges. This is called disulfide bridges. I hope that you are able to see it. Are you able to see? I'm sorry. Can you, are you able to see over here? Okay, two bridges are there over here. Yes. So this is one bridge and this is second bridge. So this is the chain which is responsible for the synthesis of insulin. So we can say there are two polypeptide chains. Chain number 1, that is called A, and chain number 2, that is called B, and both are bridged. Both are connected. So connecting, how they have done? By using disulfide bridges. Now you can see that this particular gene, they are producing a hormone. And when they are producing the hormone, you know that in case of transcription, we have seen from the DNA, the messenger RNA is transcribed. So when the messenger RNA is synthesized, that messenger RNA is not a useful RNA. Why that messenger RNA is not a useful RNA? The RNA which is produced from the DNA by transcription is not useful in the beginning. Why? Yeah, very good, Krishna. So in that, what is the introns are there? So since introns are there, that RNA we call as what? Because of the presence of the introns or introns bearing RNA. What do you call? Are friends, are you here? Yeah, that is called primary RNA. That is called primary RNA. And this primary RNA undergoes splicing, a process called splicing. That means introns are removing. Once the introns are removed, you get the messenger RNA. That is the mature RNA. That is the RNA which is producing the protein. Same manner, here we can notice that this is producing the hormone, but this hormone is not mature hormone. And so this hormone is called a prohormone. Now look at over here. This is called as prohormone. And once this prohormone, now here, look at here, insulin. And this prohormone, what to do? We have to take it for processing. Once we do the processing on prohormone, we will get the final matured functional hormone called insulin. Now look at over here. Okay, so the proinsulin that contains like introns of messenger RNA, primary messenger RNA. This proinsulin, yeah, prohormone contains extra stretch over there. Now look at over here, the gray colored structure here. So this structure has been removed. And this extra stretch, we can say, it is already removed and arranged over here. Now you see this one. This is the extra stretch. And this extra stretch, we can say free C peptide. Once this has been removed from the prohormone, yeah, proinsulin, we get the insulin. We get the matured and functional hormone. You got the point clearly, friends? Is it clear to you? You just remember messenger RNA and insulin, both are in the same way, somewhat similar. Okay? So remember this chain, this gene producing proinsulin, that proinsulin, we can notice that it contains some extra stretch which is called a C-peptide, and once it has been removed, you get the functional matured insulin. Now you can see how it can be synthesized. How this human insulin is synthesized. I think it is lagging over here because I am there on next slide, but that 9 number slide is not yet come to your screen. Any problem? Nine number slide has not come yet. My connectivity is there. Yeah, it is coming only. It's quite slow. It has come over there. The screen, new screen has come. No. Same only. I'm waiting for that. It has stuck now. Okay, okay. That is what I see here because in the second device, so my voice is breaking. Okay. Now it does come, right? Yeah, even I get the message that my connectivity is unstable now. So anyway, I think you're observing now. So now what is the point here? We already seen that Hakura et al. Hakura is the man who synthesized this DNA. I mean, these DNA sequences for human insulin. But you can see that chemically, he synthesized 2 DNA sequences. It will come now. I think it is a little slow. Or it's slow. Okay. So Hakura et al. They chemically synthesized two DNA sequences that is corresponding to the original chain A and B of human insulin. Now you see the picture over there. If you observe the picture, you can see that there are two chains over there, and whatever amino acids are there, that name is also given there in a sequence there. Okay, and B chain, the B chain is there in violet color. The chain A is there in blue color, dark blue color. So in B chain, there are 30 amino acids. In A chain, there are 21 amino acids. I hope that you are able to observe it, all these things. And if you look at that between A chain and B chain, there are two links also. You just see here. There are two links over there. Now one is over here, okay, and second one is over here. So this is what Hakura synthesized chemically. Okay, that is totally corresponding to the human insulin producing chain A and B. Now, after that, what he did? So he inserted this chain, this DNA, chemically synthesized DNA sequence chain, they inserted into a plasmid. Where they inserted? They inserted into a plasmid. Which plasmid they have taken? Please check the screen and write there in the screen, in the chat box. Which plasmid? Which plasmid they inserted? PBR 322. Okay. So first Hakura, what he did, he synthesized the chain. Two separate chain they synthesized it, and this separate chain they separately inserted into two plasmids. They separately, the chain A inserted into one plasmid and chain B inserted into another plasmid. But which plasmid they normally use? That is PBR 322. Now in PBR 322, now the PBR 322 picture you are observing over there. The PBR 322 plasmid picture you are observing there on the screen. And when you talk about this PBR 322, can you tell me that what kind of plasmid this one? Is it natural plasmid or this is an artificial plasmid? Artificial means constructed plasmid. No idea. When we studied about plasmid, there we have seen one important point that the marker genes, so and so when we discuss it, there we have seen that these genes are not there in all natural plasmids. So we have to construct some examples they have told you, and out of that, this is the one which is commonly using. That also we have said. PBR 322. Is it natural? Is it natural or constructed? So you are not giving the answer. You are just saying that. I will tell you the page number. The page number I will tell you in your textbook. It is there at page number 277. 277, first paragraph. Okay, it is constructed. So it is constructed. So now you see, in this plasmid, there is a part. Somewhere you see the term written BAM H1. Somewhere there, you can see that there is a location or there is a gene over there that is called beta galactosidase. Okay. So this particular gene which is producing this insulin, this chain, they inserted into the PBR 322 plasmid. Where they inserted by the side of beta galactoside gene. Somewhere here, beta galactoside gene is there. Very close to that, they inserted this gene. Are you getting me the steps now? What I said? Now remember, first point to be remembered, Hakura constructed or synthesized two chains, the chain A and chain B, that is exactly similar to the human insulin producing chain. And after that, he inserted this one into a plasmid. And the plasmid he used PBR 322. And both the chain inserted separately into the plasmid. And where he inserted there in the plasmid, where the beta galactoside gene is there. Okay. And once this gene is inserted over there, you get a combined plasmid, a transformed plasmid. And you see that is what is called the chimeric DNA, yeah, rDNA. And that transformed DNA, yeah, plasmid inserted into E. coli host. Now look at the picture over here, you can understand that. Now you see in the pancreas, human pancreas cell, the DNA is there. That is producing the insulin. That part is cut. Even here it is constructed, synthesized here said. And that is inserted into a plasmid. And then this transferred into E. coli host. Then the rDNA methodology, and finally, from this human insulin is produced. So ultimately, that insulin producing gene containing plasmid is transferred into E. coli, and that E. coli started producing hormone, the insulin hormone, but not in the final hormone, the mature hormone. That is in the form of penicillinase and a pre-pro insulin. So this E. coli produced the hormone, but not the pro insulin only. They produced penicillinase plus pre-pro insulin. And this, from this mixture, from this combination, now you see over here. Now you see, this is the beta galactosidase gene. Very close to that, they inserted insulin gene A. Separate plasmid, I said. Now, this is another plasmid. There, insulin B is added. And you see, it is multiplied over there. And ultimately, that is linked over there. And from this, the insulin is produced. And finally, you can see that the insulin can be produced like this by a treatment that is called a trypsin treatment. Because the trypsin treatment is required because this particular bacterium produces not only the insulin, they're producing penicillinase hormone also. So when a mixture you are getting over there, from this mixture, you have to separate this insulin by a treatment called a trypsin treatment. Are you able to understand now? The picture, if you look at it, it's very simple. Now you look at the final picture which has come on your screen. Now you see, okay, this is the insulin gene subunit A, chain A. This is chain B. And both the chains are inserted on separate plasmids. Now you see, this is A and this is B. Okay. And after that, it has been linked. And from that, the insulin is produced finally, ultimately. So this is a step the Hakura has done during his time. Okay. I hope that you are able to understand. You are understanding it? Examination point of view, this insulin part is very important. Okay. So ultimately, you are getting human insulin, and that can be used by the patients or the people who are suffering from diabetes mellitus. Okay. Now I'm going to the next slide. Vaccine production. Okay, are you able to understand? You are okay, you are comfortable. Now the number of students, now you see we started with the 28 or something. Now the number has come down. I know you have the festival today. If you are finding it difficult now, we will stop here, and vaccine I will take tomorrow morning, because I thought to start talk about practical session also. Tomorrow morning we will discuss the remaining part then. It's okay. We don't want to go in hurry. We have sufficient time, lot of time. Every day we are meeting. So you have to do, so this part I will stop over here. You just study the human insulin section clearly and you finish it off this part. And tomorrow we will talk about vaccine. Okay, under healthcare biotechnology, the vaccine production we will see tomorrow. Tomorrow we will cover up two more areas. I say one is vaccine. Second thing is that oral vaccine, and third one is that that is called the mouth vaccine. Yeah, oral vaccine only, the melt vaccine. Okay, so vaccines I will finish tomorrow. I mean the first healthcare biotechnology part we will complete tomorrow. I don't want to go in hurry. Whatever we have seen, you please read your textbook. So in the textbook it is there. Okay. And I think that would be better because I know that because of this festival, the participants are very less. Only 18 people are there. Now one more number has gone. Aryan has left now. Now Aryan also left. Okay, so tomorrow morning we will meet then. So please read your textbook. I stop this recording part. Okay.